Um, I didn't want to get on camera and start crying, but I wanted to add this in the episode because I didn't want to wait a week for the next one. But we just got the news about a half an hour, 45 minutes ago that Ozzy Osbourne died. And I'm like absolutely gutted. And my heart just breaks so much for Sharon and Amy and Kelly and Jack and the kids, the grandkids, and everybody associated with Ozzy. I've loved Ozzy since I was a kid. My family wasn't like huge into Black Sabbath or Ozzy or anything like that, but when the Osbournes came out on MTV, I remember I started watching it and I thought it was the funniest fucking show I had ever seen. And it's like over 20 years of my life that I've loved Ozzy and the family. I don't want to like go on and on about this because I don't like when people get on camera and start crying. I'm not that person. I don't ever get on camera and start crying, but this is one of those like truly devastating pieces of news that I fucking hate breaking to people. And I don't like breaking this news. And like, I posted a video of myself crying like the moment I found out about the news because I was in the middle of recording a fucking rant video about something totally different, fucking stupid CBS and Paramount. And as soon as the news headline came across the top of my screen, I just lost it. And to all the fucking people that might comment on this or comment on those videos that are already starting to comment on it, oh, really? Like, is it worth crying over? Abso-fucking-lutely. Okay? It's worth crying over, okay? He meant a lot to me, and he meant a lot to a lot of people. So, yeah, when you feel empathy for other people and you can feel the emotions of other people, this is a totally fucking normal, justifiable reaction to fucking have. Even as someone that never knew him, never met him, was never gonna know him, never gonna meet him. I might never meet any of the family. That doesn't matter. I still loved Ozzy. And if you think it's wrong to feel these emotions when shit like this happens, then you're just cold-hearted and you're a piece of shit. And if you feel the need to down and insult somebody when they're clearly upset for a justifiable reason, like, you know, then you've got fucking bigger problems than me crying on the internet about the death of a fucking legend. And I don't know what else to say. This is honestly the worst fucking news that I could have gotten right now. And there's just so many things going through my mind right now, but the biggest thing going through my mind right now is I'm getting right on Osbourne's media house and I'm watching the Osbournes because I need Ozzy to comfort me. And this is horrible. I can't believe this, honestly. So, I'm gonna take a hit on the fucking copyright flags and monetization on this video. And, yeah, just please enjoy, this next song.
I'm feeling happy. I am so sad. I lost the best friend that I ever had.
She is my baby. I love her so. But it's too late now. I've let her go. We're going through changes.
We shared the years, we shared each day. I love you, Daddy, but I found my way.
You know the world is an evil place. My baby's grown now. She's found her way. We're going through changes. We're going through changes.
It took so long to realize, and I can still hear his last goodbye.
Now all my days are filled with fears. Wish I could go back and change the years. We're going through changes. We're going through changes. We're going through
Hello, my little Bumbabees, and welcome back to the Bumba.cast. That's right, it's me, your girl, Teresa Bumbaco, here on take number 2 of the 39th episode of the Pop Culture News, because I don't know what photo booth bullshit photo booth was on. It looks like it's still doing something. It looks like I'm glitching out. What the fuck? Some FBI agent is fucking watching me through the camera and is fucking up my recording right now because I'm talking shit about Trump. Like, this is bullshit. I just recorded an hour-and-a-half podcast and the fucking file is corrupt. Something's wrong with it or whatever. I have almost 400 gigs of fucking storage on my computer. It is not a storage issue. This was a 1.85 gig fucking size video. It was nowhere near. I would have to have done this 300 more times to fucking even come close to filling up my storage, okay? And somehow the file can't be played in QuickTime. QuickTime can't open it. It says play button has a slash through it. It says 00:00 on the file on the lower right corner of the photo booth like app or whatever. Are you fucking kidding me? So I apologize if I forget some of the jokes I made in the first take, and we'll never get them back because I deleted the audio of the first episode too, because quite frankly, I just didn't want to know. I just didn't want to know if it was really good or okay. I honestly didn't, because I was so torn. I was like, do I just do the audio now? But I don't want to do that. I want to have the video. I think the visual is helpful for the reach. I think people like the visual. I like the visual. It's a lot more time consuming to edit and record, but I really don't care because I like doing the video as well. And this was the whole point. I don't want to get slack with it. So it happens. We're going to just have to re-record, and you guys are going to have to, just hang in there with me. Bear with me here. And
I'll do everything I can. I'm going to have to probably take little breaks in between the video clips because I don't trust this fucking computer to not do that again. Now I'm traumatized. Now we're bringing up past traumas of when I was in middle school and I had a Gateway desktop computer. I loved that computer. It was honestly really nice. I had like 2 desktop Gateway computers that were my own before I eventually upgraded to a MacBook Pro in my senior year of high school and went completely Apple. But I liked that Gateway. The Gateway was good until it wasn't, because I got it for Christmas one year and my mom, there was a cable that had to be clipped into the back of the tower, and so, like, it was very sensitive and like something clipped off on the cord or the cable or whatever, and so we couldn't insert it in the back of the tower. And then Gateway was like, okay, we'll send you a new cord, and we were waiting weeks and weeks, like I mean, it honestly felt like at least 2 or 3 weeks, like we never got this cord. And then we found out that we could just go to Best Buy and just buy the cord, or Circuit City at the time. I think it was Circuit City. We went to Circuit City and bought that and came home, and I was able to use the computer, and it was great and I loved it. And then I had to buy a whole new CD DVD ROM that I had to like take out the CD ROM in my tower because I wanted to play The Sims 2, and my computer would crash every single time I got to a place in the build mode where I was inserting Windows in my house, and it would crash every time I did that. And we found out the reason after like talking to tech support was that the Sims 2 required a CD DVD ROM, and my computer only had a CD ROM. So I had to modify my Gateway tower at like 11, 12 years old and take the CD ROM portal out of my tower and get a CD DVD ROM port, port and fucking whatever, put that in there. And yeah, and then I was able to play The Sims too, no problem. But that's what I'm talking about, like traumatizing me with like technology and stuff like that, like getting to that build mode in The Sims, even like for years after I played The Sims, and like it didn't happen because the issue no longer existed. Like traumatized. Every time I got to put Windows in my house, I was like, oh, here we go. It's going to crash. Even though I knew it wasn't going to crash, I thought it would. And then the couple times that my entire computer hard drive completely crashed on me and I lost my entire like music library for my iPod mini, and my dad not understanding the severity of the situation. I'm like, you don't get it. Like every single song is individually downloaded and I don't know what's on there. And if I upload my iPod, it takes it all off of there. All the music is gone. And he didn't understand that. So he didn't understand my crash out in my bedroom over that, like losing my fucking mind over my hard drive, just shitting the bed multiple times. But that's neither here nor there. Now that I've, just talked your ear off about that and whatnot or whatever, I think each time I talk about a story, I'm just going to stop the video and start a new one so this doesn't happen, because you can't fucking silence me, CBS. You can't silence me, Paramount. You can't silence me, Tim Cook. And you most certainly can't silence me, Donald Trump, because I'm here to stay. You're on your way out, sir. Look at my skin. Look at yours. Fucking gray. Got concealer all over your hands. Looking fucking weird. Looking a mess. Going out in public looking like that, and you're worried about what I'm saying on my fucking podcast? You should be. You should be. Stay unwell, bitch. Okay, first up on the docket, we're going to be talking about Annabelle. Yes, Annabelle, that Annabelle. Not Annabelle as in Annabelle's Wish Annabelle. If you saw that movie, that Christmas movie. Oh, such a good one. Such a good one. I love Annabelle's Witch. If you have not seen that movie, you should. Randy Travis does a good voice acting role in that one. It's a good one. It's about this little Christmas cow, and she's kind of like on the outskirts of her family, and I don't remember the plot line, but she's kind of like the black sheep. black cow, if you will. But anyway, so we're talking about Annabelle, the demonically possessed Raggedy Ann doll. You know what I'm talking about? Because that's what Annabelle really looks like. She doesn't look like that shit in the movie, like that they portray her as, like this creepy. It's not like that. It's literally a Raggedy Ann doll. So anyway, Annabelle, she's been on a nationwide tour, if you haven't been aware, on this tour called the Devils on the Run tour with her handler. I don't know how a demonic doll has a handler. I mean, you should have left her in her glass case of emotion. That's where she should be. She should be in her little glass case. She shouldn't be out touring the world and seeing the sights. Like, you're asking for trouble at this point. So, Annabelle, okay, she's been out touring the nation on this Devils on the Run tour with her handler, Dan Rivera, who is a paranormal investigator, and he has died. Yes, he has died. This is not a joke. He has died suddenly, unexpectedly at 54 years old. So recently he was in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania last weekend, and that's where he died. Dan Rivera is was a lead investigator for the Connecticut-based New England Society for Psychic Research, and Pennsylvania State Police report shared on Wednesday, July 16th, detailing what happened to Dan Rivera. And it says members from PSP Gettysburg responded to a hotel in Strabane Township, I'm not sure how to say it, Adams County, for a report of a deceased man. The decedent was discovered in his hotel room by workers. Nothing unusual or suspicious was observed at the scene. His cause of death is still pending. So we'll find out what happened to him in about 8 to 10 weeks' time per this article from People magazine that I read. The coroner, though, is wanting it to be abundantly known that Annabelle was not in the room with Dan when he was found and was not currently hanging around when Dan was found. So if they're on the Devils on the Run, where is she? Where did they put her at night when they go into like these hotels? Or where's Annabelle? I'm confused, because if she wasn't there, then where was she? Do we know? We should probably know. So that's a question I have. But anyway, the statement does go on to say from the coroner, Francis Dutroux, that he told people earlier that Dan Rivera had been with colleagues on Sunday morning, but said he was feeling sick and wanted to go back to his room. It's unclear what Rivera may have been ill with, and further information is pending the autopsy, like I said. So we don't know, but do we? And apparently, because Dan was such a respected paranormal investigator in the community, the New England Society for Psychic Research's website did go on to make a statement on behalf of Dan, saying Dan was not only a vital part of our team for over a decade, but also a deeply compassionate, loyal, and dedicated friend. His integrity, creativity, and generosity defined him. Dan's passion for the paranormal was rooted in a genuine desire to educate, help, and connect with others, whether through social media, conventions, or investigations with local families seeking understanding and peace. We understand that Dan's work inspired fascination and curiosity for many, but above all, he was a father, devoted husband, and loyal friend, someone who meant the world to those closest to him. There is a Facebook post that was made on behalf of Dan as well from A&E's Paranormal State host Ryan Buell, stating that Dan was an Army veteran who was also survived by his wife and children. I did want to also go on and give a little bit of backstory about Annabelle, though, if you're not exactly sure about Annabelle. I mean, we could all die, just me talking about this. I mean, she could come for us. I don't know exactly how that works. I don't know if you have to have contact or if me just simply talking about her will do. But, based on the fact that Bloody Mary is like an urban legend, I'm going to go with the fact that, like, I think if she's powerful enough, I think she could reach us in the podcast world and the realm of my podcast experience and channels. I don't know. I'm honestly scared. But anyway, that same New England Society for Psychic Research's website does go on to detail Annabelle's origin. It goes back to 1968 when a student nurse was gifted the doll and brought it to the home where she lived with her roommate. Almost immediately, the roommates noticed strange occurrences with the doll, and they were introduced to a medium who told them the doll was inhabited by the spirit of a young girl named Annabelle. The two roommates tried to accept the doll's spirit and please it only to have it reciprocate maliciousness and violent intent. So, there you go. If you are also familiar with Ed and Lorraine Warren, the paranormal investigators that are now worldwide, known worldwide from their adaptation of their lives from the Conjuring series that it was depicted in. The Society's website also added that its founders, Ed and Lorraine Warren, were called in and determined that Annabelle was, quote unquote, demonically possessed. They took the doll from the home and stored it in a glass box to contain this evil spirited entity. So if you want my honest opinion, that's where Annabelle should have stayed. I don't think Annabelle should have been taken out of the box and paraded around the country because there was all kinds of like other weird shit that was being reported in New Orleans around the time that Annabelle was there. I mean, those inmates fled the prison or the jail or whatever, and they were on the run for like forever. I mean, a couple of them were like, there was a couple of them that took a long time to get caught. I mean, I don't know if that had anything to do with it or, just Annabelle just wreaking havoc, just causing, I don't know. As long as she don't come over here, I rebuke it. I rebuke it. I rebuke it. I rebuke it. So this next story is a little more gruesome. Sorry about that. It's not a great week. It's a great week for crazy shit going on, but it's not necessarily a great week for people. But yeah, so American Idol music supervisor Robin Kay and her husband Tom DeLuca have been found murdered in their home in Encino. A 22-year-old man was charged on Thursday with killing the American Idol music supervisor and her musician husband, who walked into their Encino home during a burglary. Raymond Budarian is accused of fatally shooting Robin Kay and her husband, Tom DeLuca, on July 10th. Los Angeles police did not find their bodies until 4 days later when officers were sent to the home for a welfare check. Now, stay with me on this story because there's some weird shit that happens that has nothing to do with this specific case, but the LAPD, I had to turn that off. The LAPD is, as we know, fucked. We know. We know this. We know the LAPD is fucked, okay? Like, we've always known Rodney King, OJ. I mean, like, it just goes so deep. I mean, like, I could just rattle names off all fucking day, and it's hard for me to recall names like that, so you know it's bad. And I want to say that this is some criminally negligent shit, and quote me on that, because what? Okay, so stay with me here. Budarian is charged with 2 counts of murder with enhancements for allegedly killing the couple during the commission of a robbery, intentionally using a firearm, and committing multiple murders. He is also charged with burglary. During an initial court appearance in Van Nuys on Thursday afternoon, Budarian was ordered to remain in jail. His arraignment was delayed until August 20th. If convicted, Budarian would face either life without parole or execution if prosecutors seek the death penalty. Now, I'm not a fan of the death penalty. If you know me at all, you know I'm not a fan of it. there are two ways that it can go when situations like this arise, because I understand, I get like, crimes of passion. I understand like when I see a news story of a man killing his daughter's rapist, I get that. Like I totally empathize with that situation, and I clap my hands at the end of the day and hope that he gets a light sentence. But I'm going to say the reason that I don't like capital punishment is because it's basically premeditated murder in a sense. Like, why are we bringing someone in a room and have a gallery of people watching this person take their last breath? Why are we all watching it? Why are we putting them in psychological warfare and torment for 20 years because we can't afford to execute everybody at once that's on death row? I don't understand the whole concept of capital punishment. I think capital punishment is equally as horrible as the person committing the crime that was bad enough to even get them in the possibility of capital punishment execution, because there are two things that you can do. Like I said, there are two things that you can do. Okay. Since it costs the same amount of money to house a prisoner for the duration of their life in prison without the possibility of parole as it does to keep them on death row for 20 years and then execute them, okay? Since that costs the same amount of money per prisoner, okay, why don't you just throw them in Gen Pop for, life in prison without the possibility of parole? They'll always be in there. And if they did something fucked up enough, the other inmates that are in there, they don't live with shit like that. They don't live with men that do things to women or children. They're not going to live with a pedophile. They're not going to do any of that. So why don't you just throw them in Gen Pop and let the problem take care of itself? Do you understand what I'm saying? So then my tax dollars don't have to house a crazy person, okay? Well, not even crazy person, but just like a psychopath that's going around killing people. Like if they legitimately have mental health problems, that's the whole other argument to discuss. Second thing that you could do in this situation instead of doing that, all right? Now, the second thing would be if you had the opportunity. Thank you, universe. I see that 555. It got me for the 444 before when I was recording too. So fuck you. I'm protected even if you want to delete my video. Anyway, so the second thing that you could do is you could just handle the problem yourself when it's there. If you find out like, oh, this person is probably, complicit of it, then you handle it yourself. You know what I'm saying? But no, I don't like the whole, let's bring somebody in a room and watch them. Like when people tailgated for Ted Bundy's execution, I think that's some of the weirdest shit I've ever heard of. Like, I mean, yeah, he was sick and psychotic and like, yeah, he shouldn't have been walking amongst the general public at all. But like, specifically with Bundy, there was a lot we could have learned and help profile serial killers. Because with somebody like Bundy, you just have to like stroke their ego and like make them feel important. And like he was helping to he was helping the FBI profile serial killers, and it helped build a branch of the FBI to help the FBI find serial killers, and probably ended up helping them find a lot of them following it. And it's not to take away from the fact that anything that he did, but put him in the cage and then use his knowledge, because we can learn from that. Even if we don't feel that way or get to that point ourselves, like we can learn from psychos like that. We really can. So I don't understand that. I don't get it. Like selling like t-shirts and bumper stickers, Fry Ted Fry, like very weird. Like when they saw the smoke go up after he was executed, they like cheered. It's like very grim, it's just like very grim to me. Like I don't like it. I mean, I understand that like the families are totally going to feel differently than I do and everything like that. And, but every family I've ever heard say that's been affected by someone that murdered someone close to them after they were executed, they like say, yeah, I'm glad that they're dead now, but it doesn't give them back. Like I still feel the same way. I still feel, ill I still miss them. I still hate that person, whether they're dead or alive. So, I mean, in a way, death is like an easy way out, isn't it? Don't you want to see them like suffer in a cage for the rest of their natural born days? Like, I don't know. Just weird to me. Just weird to me. But that's just my thought about the situation. Moving on. According to police, officers visited the Encino home around the time Budarian was believed to be inside. The Los Angeles Police Department responded to a report of a possible break-in at 4 p.m. July 10th and determined that nothing appeared out of place at the couple's residence. This was the Lieutenant Guy Golan saying this. Guy Golan, who literally just sounds like a fucking... Like Guy Golan, that's your name? You sound like a fucking actor and that's like your stage name or something like that. Like only in LA do we have police officers that sound like they are using a stage name for their fucking name. Really. Officers reported that the property was locked and no one responded inside. Yeah, you think if someone's breaking in and they hear like disturbances and if you don't hear anything inside, maybe that's like a signal like, well, there's cars out front, but no one's answering, and we responded to a 911 call here. Yeah, everything's good to go. Let's pack it up, boys.
Tell me why.
You really can't make this shit up. You can't even write this shit. Like, the truth is always crazier than the lie, people. The truth is always crazier than the lie.
Doesn't anyone notice this? I feel like I'm taking crazy pills.
A helicopter from overhead reported not seeing anything suspicious as well. Kay and DeLuca's bodies were discovered Monday when officers responded to a welfare check at the couple's homes in the 4700 block of White Oak Avenue. The following day, officers with a joint LAPD FBI task force arrested Budarian. Well, I'm glad that they're doing the most to get the guy after leaving those people in their home dead for 4 days.
What are you waiting for, huh?
According to police, Kay, an American Idol music supervisor, and her rock musician husband, DeLuca, were returning to their $4.5 million Encino home when they came upon Budarian. Budarian allegedly shot Kay and DeLuca multiple times, then ran off, locking the door behind him. I guess locking their door behind him. Though the couple's house was well fortified, police said the suspect had managed to get in through an unlocked door. I'm saying this all the time. This is like the Bling Ring situation. If you've ever like watched a documentary about the Bling Ring or even just seen the movie about the Bling Ring about like those young kids that were like, you know, going into Hollywood homes and like stealing jewelry and all this shit or whatever, and it took a while for them to get caught. They were getting into the houses because these people were just leaving the doors unlocked. How do you have all that shit in your house and you just leave your doors unlocked? What's going on in Hollywood that they're just like leaving their doors unlocked? Who are you leaving your back door unlocked for? Diddy? What? I don't understand that. Like, don't you want to protect your assets? We deadbolt our fucking front door when we go to bed. My windows are locked. You're lucky I don't fucking lock my bedroom door at night. Like, straight up. Like, what the hell? Fucking locking your... don't even lock your doors to your homes? This is some fucking... Anyway. According to Golan, the department received a call at 4 p.m. the day the couple was killed, and the caller described seeing a person climbing over a fence into the property. Golan said officers went to the home, but did not get any response and saw nothing out of place, and a helicopter was flown over the property because it was difficult to access.
Kim, there's people that are dying.
By then, the couple had been killed, LAPD officials said. Yeah, you think? Budarian left after about half an hour, police said. The delay in finding Kay and DeLuca's bodies bore similarities to two other homicides in the valley where police were called to the location and did not immediately find a victim and left the scene. So this is what I'm talking about, okay? Here we go. There are at least two other people that this has happened to recently. Menashe Hydra's body was found April 26th inside his fifth floor Valley his 5th floor Valley Village apartment. Say that 5 times fast. Don't fucking laugh at me. After an assailant broke into a neighboring unit, jumped from the balcony to his unit, and attacked him. See, this is what I'm talking about. When I hear stories like this, I'm like, yeah, that's definitely something I'm not going to have now. Like a balcony that like somebody could jump from one to mine. No, ain't happening. Not fucking happening. Not happening. 3 days before, neighbors had called 911 and reported hearing shouting and a struggle coming from the apartment. Officers responded to those calls, knocked on the door, and left without finding anything.
Ain't no way. Ain't no fucking way.
Eric Escamilla, 27, was charged with the killing, along with an unrelated homicide from 2022. The same day that Hydra's body was discovered, police found the body of Alexandra Matabadze, who was beaten to death inside his Woodland Hills home. In that case, a woman inside the home called LAPD about 12:30 a.m. and reported 3 people had broken into her home and were beating her significant other before the call suddenly cut out, according to law enforcement sources. The 911 operator tried to call back multiple times without success. Shortly before 1 a.m., officers arrived at the home, but no one answered the door. There were no noises coming from the home, and the blinds were down. So you know what this means. Pack it up, boys. Nothing to see here. Let's go.
But in the end, you die in your own arms.
Motabadze was later found by officers badly beaten with a traumatic head injury and died of his injuries.
It's all a big nothing.
In this Encino case, Golan said that the department would investigate why the couple, who were both 70, were not found earlier and whether the officers involved acted appropriately. Excuse me. LAPD officials said the front door of the home was not visible from the outside during the initial response. Is that a reason? I don't see a door. Let's pack it up, boys.
Disgusting.
What?
Tell me why.
Doesn't anyone notice this? I feel like I'm taking crazy pills!
You can't even make this shit up. And apparently this Budarian man was charged in 3 instances of misdemeanor battery last year, but the charges were dropped after a series of hearings related to his mental competency, and a conservatorship investigation was completed. So he could have been in jail and these people would be alive. So thanks, LA. Did it again. Gavin Newsom, Karen Bass, you're just doing a fucking stand-up job out there, aren't you?
All right, we got a situation.
All right, next up, we're talking about Emmy's, Emmy nominations. I'm going to try to go through this fast because I'll be honest with you, on my first record, I think I talked about this way too long. So I'm going to talk about a few things that pissed me off and then a couple things that are cool. So there were a couple like first-time acting nominations that we definitely need to recognize. Martin Scorsese's special guest appearance on The Studio got him a nomination. So, I mean, that's cool. I mean, he's not an actor, but cool. His guest appearance was funny. I saw clips of it. I have not watched The Studio yet because I don't currently have an active Apple TV Plus subscription, but I do plan on renewing that soon because there are a couple things on there I want to watch. Also worth mentioning, Harrison Ford got himself a first-time nomination, as well as Adam Brody and Kristen Bell for their roles in Nobody Wants This. What bothers me is that there's a category that The Studio was the only show nominated for, and it was the special guest role in a comedy series nominations. Every last one, all 5 nominations, all 5 nominees are guest roles from The Studio. I don't know if it was just a bad year for special guest roles, but I don't know. I mean, And Just Like That is really bad this season, but I think you could have thrown Rosie O'Donnell a bone on that one. I mean, Rosie O'Donnell came in playing a newly out lesbian nun in the first episode of And Just Like That this season and loses her lesbian V card, or just in general her V card, because she was a nun this whole time, to Miranda. I mean, I think that is special guest star nomination worthy, but I digress. What do I know? I'm just here on my piddly little podcast. But that was it. We really didn't have any other good special guest roles. They all had to be from the studio. I don't understand. Ron Howard also, he got a nomination. So another filmmaker that's having like acting nomination. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. Also, I'm irritated because Beyonce and Jay-Z are getting nominations because I don't know if this has been a thing in years past, but now we're starting to nominate halftime performances for certain categories. And I'm just like, we couldn't make this a category at the Grammys instead. Why are we making this a category for the Emmys? I understand Emmys are television, so don't even try to fucking go there with me. I know what the Emmys are for, okay? I am well aware. I watch them every year. I know. So I don't need you to tell me, okay? But why do we need Emmy nominations for Grammy performances? Like, SZA's nominated for her Grammys performance for one of these things. I'm like, what? This literally could have been a Grammys category. It's a Grammys fucking show that's up for a nomination, okay? And then, like, they've got Kendrick Lamar's, like, halftime is nominated for something. Jay-Z is fucking nominated for executive producing because he's a sellout. And he fucking watched Colin Kaepernick get fired after kneeling on the field in 2017 and then turned around in 2019 and took the executive producer role for the NFL halftime shows with no fucking skin off his back, like this motherfucker needed any more money. He doesn't give a fuck about his people. He's a bitch. And I said what I said, okay? I don't give a fuck. I'm pissed. And then Beyonce is getting nominated for shit, like for her baby halftime performance. Like, what is going on? This is all rigged. I'm so fucking sick of this shit. Everything is rigged. Everything is like money based. You know, Jay-Z's like, oh, I'll give you this money, and you know, then I can have so many streams for Beyonce, and then Beyonce will get her bullshit country album a nominee for country album of the year or whatever the fuck, and piss off the entire country community like at the same time. Like, somebody needs to stop these people. I mean, somebody needs to stop these people. How do we stop these people? How? Help. Help. Help! Okay, so anyway, let's go on. In the leading the competition of nominees, Severance is in the top spot with 27 nominations. The Penguins got 24. The White Lotus and the Studio are both tied for 23 nominations. I guess the 77th Emmys are set to air live on CBS from the Peacock Theater in LA on Sunday, September 14th at 8 p.m. Eastern. So I'll probably have to renew my fucking Paramount subscription just to watch that shit because I canceled it because I'm pissed at them about Colbert. We'll get to that. But I'm also irritated because that weirdo comedian that's not even funny, Nate Bargatze, is going to be hosting it. Like,
What is this, honey? The ghetto!
he's not funny. He's got dead eyes and a monotone, like, Southern voice, and everyone's like, this is funny. This is good. This is good. This is good. This is a dark time. The Last of Us Season 2 received 16 nominations. Bella Ramsey got their second Emmy nomination for the show. I don't know how, because the internet was up in arms about their acting, the entire season. I only made it one episode in. I could not continue. But it's a good thing I didn't, because spoiler alert, on episode 2 is when Pedro Pascal dies. So I knew that, though, because I had asked my best friend Maria, who had played and completed the game. I was like, give it to me straight. What's going on with PP? So she gave it to me straight, and she told me what happened. She didn't tell me like how it goes down, but she confirmed. She confirmed. So I knew it was coming, so it wouldn't be so devastating. Sometimes you got to do stuff like that, because like if you got trauma and like problems, like sometimes like when you grow attached to a TV show character and you like really feel the empathy, and like, you know, you get like, you're like, oh my God, I really feel it. I really feel for them. Like when you really get to that point, you have to know. You have to know straight up, because you have to know what you're getting into. You have to prepare yourself, because life doesn't prepare you for things like that. Life doesn't prepare you when, somebody that you love just fucking drops dead, okay? So sometimes if you can help it and you want to prepare for someone's death on a TV show, you know what? Don't let anybody fucking tell you there's something wrong with that. You protect yourself, okay? Also, if you need to know if any animal is going to die in a movie or a TV show, if you don't already know about this website, I think I've talked about it before on here, doesthedogdie.com. Exactly as it reads, just like you're typing it out. Doesthedogdie.com. And when you type it in, you type in any movie. I mean, it looks like run down, like, because the like coding and like, what it looks like or whatever. It honestly looks like it was created in like 2003, and they really haven't updated the site at all. But new movies and new TV shows are added to the site. So even if it doesn't look like top tier and it looks like spammy or whatever, it's really not. There's no pop-ups, like nothing. These people are honestly, whoever is running this website, they are just kind human beings that want to help protect us from seeing a poor, defenseless animal die in a horror movie or an action film or a sci-fi thriller or, a drama or whatever, okay? Obviously, we know how Marley and Me is going to end, because, it's like Lassie, we just know. Is what it is. Doesn't she die? I don't know. But where the red fern grows, don't read it. Don't read it. That's what I say. Anyway, let's move on. So also, I wanted to mention, the hell's out of my nose. Also, I wanted to mention Noah Weil, who played his character from ER on the newly rebooted ER spinoff series The Pit, received his first Emmy nomination in 26 years, because guess what he was last nominated for? The same character from ER. I don't know. I think that good for him, because the character is still loved and still relevant, and obviously people are into it. People love The Pit. I just can't get into another medical drama. I think Grey's Anatomy is it for me. And if I want that medical drama rush, I'm just going to restart Grey's. It's just, you know what? I might do it tonight. It's just how I feel. Like, I don't like too many medical dramas. I feel like they start running into one another, and then I'm like starting to compare the one to Grey's, and like it's just Grey's Anatomy ruined it all for me. I mean, like, it's the best medical drama I've ever seen in my life, and I'll stand on that. And it still is if you pretend that it ended after season 10. Nobody knows. Still is. So he landed his first Emmy nomination. I wonder how he feels about that. Like, if it's like a successful thing to him to be nominated for the same character 26 years later and not get any nominations in between, or get any roles that were significant enough or relevant enough, or people deemed whatever. I mean, I honestly, me personally, I would feel offended. I would be grateful for the opportunity to reprise the role and to replenish my bank account. But also, I think I would be a little upset as well, because it's like, well, why hasn't the industry fucked with me for 26 years? I wonder if that's like a personal decision of his, or like he just didn't get roles. I'm not exactly sure. Anyway, Pedro Pascal drew a little bit of controversy because he was nominated for Best Drama Actor, even though he, spoiler alert, again, was killed in only the second episode of this season of The Last of Us. But also it was brought up in an argument in this article that Brian Cox also received an Emmy nomination for Best Drama Actor for Succession, even though he had only appeared in 3 episodes of the final season. So, if the role is impactful enough, the nomination will come. But I also am surprised to see, I'm not really surprised to see that the Penguins got more nominations as well, but like I'm surprised to see that, like, honestly, like just nominations such as Jake Gyllenhaal for Presumed Innocent and the Penguin remained on those that nomination list, because I feel like in recent years, it's like the last half of the season or the last half of the year or the only TV shows or films really represented. If you come out like right before the cutoff of when you can submit for a nomination for a year, and you have to wait for the following year. And it's like, it came out like right after that. People forget. Like, they're like, whatever. And they shouldn't, because these are academies that are literally created for them to do this all year round. So they shouldn't forget, but they're lazy. So that's neither here nor there. But anyway, what else did I want to talk about? Kathy Bates. Kathy Bates becomes the eldest woman and person in Hollywood to score an Emmy nomination at 77 years old, which I think is awesome. It's not some kind of lifetime achievement Emmy or something like that. It's actually for her role on Matlock, so that's cool. The other 2 Emmys that she's earned in the past were for a guest starring role on 2.5 Men, and another for playing, obviously, Madame Delphine Lalaurie in American Horror Story Coven. Iconic role. Lies. Anyway, so who else? Oh, yes. Here we go. It does mention here about the Beyonce and her husband, Sean Carter, nominated in the Outstanding Variety Special Live category, a rare milestone for a husband and wife. The Cowboy Carter singer received her nom for her Beyonce Bowl halftime show for the NFL's Christmas Day on Netflix. Meanwhile, Jay-Z is an exec producer for Kendrick Lamar's Apple Music Super Bowl halftime show. The rapper has previously won 2 Primetime Emmys. However, if Beyonce nabs the trophy, this would be her first. The Bear previously held the title as the show with the most nomination in a single awards year for comedy series, 23 nominations. Now the studio is tying that. Like I said, they have nominations included Best Comedy Series, Best Actor in a Comedy Series for Seth Rogen, Best Supporting Actress in a Comedy Series for Kathryn Hahn and Catherine O'Hara. Could you make that any more fucking complicated? Among others, the show also nearly dominated the nods in the Best Guest Actor. Nearly? It did. I saw all the nominations, every single one. Bryan Cranston, Dave Franco, Ron Howard, Anthony Mackie, and Martin Scorsese all nominated for their performances in the studio. Maybe there's one and I just missed it. I don't know why. The Bears' John Bernthal was the other nominee in the category. So maybe, I don't know, I missed it. I don't know. But still, that's way too many. It's way too many. You got to pick 2 at most. 2 at most. If you're going to have like 6 people in the category, 2 at fucking most. That is the most you can do. The most. You should not have one show dominating the category. You got to figure it out. You got to get more strict. That's just lazy to me. It really is. If we know as well, mentioning Martin Scorsese again, he's previously won Emmys for directing George Harrison, Living in the Material World, and an episode of Boardwalk Empire for his directing. Saturday Night Live proved its Emmy dominance once again, extending its lead for most nominations ever for a program. Well, obviously, it's been on for 50 fucking years. Like what? To date, the long-running sketch comedy series has been nominated 372 times, including the 31 nods it received this year between its regular show and its SNL 50 specials. I think that's rightfully earned. We love it. Julianne Nicholson and Catherine O'Hara both received 2 Emmy nominations this year for separate projects. Nicholson nominated for Hacks, as well as supporting actress in a drama series for Paradise. Catherine O'Hara earned nods for Best Guest Actress in a drama series for The Last of Us and Best Supporting Actress in a comedy series for The Studio. 15-year-old Owen Cooper, who starred in the hit show Adolescence, became the youngest nominee in the history of his category, Best Supporting Actor in a limited anthology series or TV movie. If Cooper wins, he would be the youngest male winner of any acting Emmy ever. Good for you, little Cooper. We love that. I hope he's getting well taken care of as a child in the industry. You know how it is. All right. So next up on the docket, we're going to touch briefly on Jennifer Aniston and her new rumored casual beau, hypnotherapist Jim Curtis. So apparently Jennifer and this new guy were seen spending time on a yacht in Majorca together, where Amira from Next Gen NYC is actually randomly banned from. That is literally all I know about Majorca. I don't know where it is, and I'm hearing a lot about Majorca lately. Amira is banned from Majorca, and now Jennifer Aniston's on a yacht with her new hypnotherapist and Jason Bateman and his wife. So Majorca's the place to be, I guess. So I guess Jennifer is dating him casually and having fun. An insider says they've been seeing each other for a few months now. They were introduced by a friend and started out as friends. Jen had read his book and was familiar with his work. She's really into self-help and wellness. They are dating, but it's still casual. You think she read his book and like it hypnotized her and like put a spell over her? I actually posted a comment like saying something like this, like, oh, maybe this is crazy of me to say, but how do you really know if a hypnotist is, not hypnotizing you into liking them and you genuinely do? And by and large, people thought it was funny, but then there were a few people that were like, that's not how that works.
Guess what, motherfucker?
I hate people on the internet. I really do. Like, I mean, being online makes you realize truly how many stupid people there are in the world. Really, truly, really, truly. But yeah, so, I mean, the article basically just goes on to say that Jen is in such a good place. She's like living her life. She feels fulfilled and very happy. I feel like it's sad that, Jennifer Aniston's camp has to constantly reiterate these things in their source. What do you say? In their conversations, I guess, with the press. The sources that are having conversations with the press. I think it's sad that they even have to like throw that in there. Like, and it's obviously because Jennifer's not married right now and she doesn't have kids. Like, do we have to say that she's happy and very fulfilled and like grounded and good? She's in a good place. Like, I don't know. I just feel like, do we hear that about men in Hollywood? Not really. No. Anyway, so Jim Curtis, who I guess is an author and life coach who specializes in hypnotherapy, says, the source says he's very different from anyone she's dated before. In one photograph obtained by People, Curtis appeared to be rubbing the actress's shoulders. Another seemingly showed the pair embracing, possibly sharing a kiss while on board the boat in Majorca. Good for them. So the article finishes up with it just kind of validating that they've probably been seeing each other for a minute. Aniston and Curtis follow each other on Instagram, where the latter has written in his bio, "My mission is to help you heal and thrive by upgrading your I am." I don't even know what the fuck that means. So Jennifer Aniston is actually dating the guy that Justin Theroux played in Wanderlust now. You gotta love it, don't you? Life imitates art. Art imitates life. Whatever. Whatever you want to say. In May, the Friends alum included Shift, a book co-written by Curtis and Sarah Hadir, in a social media post that featured a carousel of recent photos. Among Aniston's upcoming screen projects is a television adaptation of Jeanette McCurdy's memoir, I'm Glad My Mom Died, and producing Diablo Cody's 9 to 5 reboot. Season 4 of her award-winning Apple TV Plus drama, The Morning Show, will premiere on September 17th. So she's getting in her last little summer raise in Majorca with her little new boo man, and she's very happy and very fulfilled. So everyone understand that. Understand that. Okay, so next up on the docket, I have a really weird one. It's actually kind of funny. It doesn't really bother me at all. Like, I have nothing to say other than I'm glad that I see somebody that has like the privilege to just let the problem go away by paying their fines and their dues and moving on with their life. I enjoy seeing that. I don't like when people of privilege try to fight charges that they've been given, or even if it's something as small as a speeding ticket. I don't like that. Like, pay up. You did what you did. You've got more money than fucking God. Just pay up, okay? It's like Karen Huger. Like, I was just listening to an old episode of Everything Iconic with Danny Pellegrino because I was just getting caught up like on shit from February that I hadn't listened to of his because I'm listening to since like late February, March, like every single episode he's been putting out. Sometimes you like go on breaks of podcasts and then you like go back on the things that you missed or whatever. But anyway, so he brought up Karen Huger again from Real Housewives of Potomac. And he was talking about how many DUIs she had. And like we know, what was it, late last year or something like that? Earlier this year. I forget when her court date was, but I think, well, no, it was earlier this year. God.
As we go on, we remember.
Anyway, so yeah, so she got like 3 or 4 DUIs or something like that, okay? And on her 3rd or 4th DUI, now she's facing prison time. Like they're like, no, you might be going away. So they decide, or she decides that she's going to fight it. She's going to plead not guilty. And they've got like body cam footage of her like saying that she's like Thomas Jefferson's concubine.
Hello.
Like slurring her words. Crazy shit, okay? Like damning evidence that like she was aware they had. She had a good lawyer. He was probably telling her, you should not do this. You should not do this. He got her a plea deal that would have had her on house arrest for an ankle monitor for 60 days for this. And she said, no, I'm going to fight it. And now she's sitting in prison for a year. Because she was guilty. So that's why I say I like when somebody uses their privilege to just own what they did and move on. And just let it go. Karen Huger, take heed of this advice because she's probably miserable in there. She's the grand dame of the Potomac Correctional Facility now. That's what she is. So anyway, Harry Potter actress Emma Watson has been banned from driving for 6 months after she was caught speeding. Now, I know you're thinking, what the fuck? How has she been banned for driving for 6 months? That's crazy. Well, she drove a blue Audi at 38 miles an hour in a 30 mile per hour zone in Oxford on July 31st of last year. But she had already had 9 points on her license at this point before the accident or before the speeding incident had occurred. So she's now a full-time student in a creative writing program at the University of Oxford since like 2023. But she's been ordered to make a payment of a fine of £1,044 to the High Wycombe Magistrates Court on Wednesday. She didn't attend the 5-minute hearing, which I applaud her for as well, because the only reason that you would go to a hearing like that would be to fight it. So her not going, you know, she's like, that's fine. Do what you got to do. Representatives for Watson have been approached for comment. Watson's lawyer told the court that she is a student, adding she is in the position to pay the fine. So she don't mind. But I also wanted to note that at the bottom half of this article, they do mention that another Harry Potter actress, Zoe Wanamaker, I don't know who it is, but she was banned from driving on the same day in the same court as Emma Watson for a speeding offense last year. That's very similar. She was speeding at 46 miles an hour in a 40-mile zone, was fined the same amount of £1,044, and was also banned for 6 months because she also had 9 exact points on her license. So I don't know what's going on with Harry Potter stars, but like,
I'll tell you how I'm doing. Not well, bitch.
Speeding all over the place, getting all kinds of points knocked off your license. It must, like, I don't know, they must be like really bad drivers, or it must just be really easy to get points knocked off your license in like the UK. I mean, there's no other explanation. Like, that's fucking crazy to me. Like, I don't think I've ever had points taken off my license. I don't think I've ever had points taken off my license. Not that I'm aware of. If there were, I didn't know about them. Nobody told me, so I don't even know. Okay. Well, good luck to you, Emma Watson. Hope you can drive again soon, because the broomstick ain't going to get you far. Okay, so Tomorrowland, the EDM music festival that takes place in Boom, Belgium, this past week had a huge fire at the main stage that caused the complete shutdown of the main stage and have to have the entire thing replaced and reviewed for performances for the next day. So I guess the fire occurred on Wednesday and it destroyed all of main stage pretty much. And the festival was supposed to start on Friday. So in the midst of the fire happening, them putting out the fire, cleaning up all the debris, moving it out, they ended up building a whole new main stage, not anywhere near like the elaborate set design of the original main stage. Obviously, if you know anything about Tomorrowland, I mean, like that's half the reason to go to Tomorrowland. Like the sets are huge and elaborate and crazy. I mean, yeah, you're going for the EDM music and the experience, but people go a lot for the sets and what the stages look like. From what I've read in this article, people were really upset about the damage done to main stage. So by Friday, they got everything working and up and running again so that the artists, you know, like Steve Aoki and David Guetta, Swedish House Mafia, all those artists that were scheduled to play at main stage on Friday could do so. I don't know if they were Friday, but they were supposed to play at main stage. But I thought it was really crazy and great because I ended up reading later on after I went through this article that Metallica actually ended up donating a bunch of their equipment and boxes, whatever that means or whatever it is. I don't know anything about production like that in terms of like music shows and whatever, but Metallica donated a bunch of their equipment so that they could rebuild some kind of base and foundation for main stage to have artists perform at. So I thought that was awesome. Good on Metallica. It just seems like, you know, rock and roll is always there for each other. They always look out for the other artists as well, and they look out for the world. So, you know, rock and roll will never die. I mean, look at Ozzy Osbourne. He just did his whole Back to the Beginning farewell concert with a bunch of artists, and he raised like $190 million for charity and children's hospitals. And I think that's fucking unbelievable. So hell yeah, Metallica. And I'm glad that Tomorrowland was able to get the festival back up and running because it's not fun having a fire at a fucking music festival. Been there. I don't know if I ever even told you guys that story. Maybe I have, like in years past. I don't know. But there was a fire that erupted and exploded a shower trailer at Coachella one of the years I went. I think it was 2019 that year that I went. And what caused it was some guy or somebody flicked their cigarette butt near the propane tanks of the shower trailer, and a huge like explosion occurred and shot up into the air. I was at somebody else's campsite away from mine, and the explosion happened like right near my campsite. And I was like, oh my God, my camp is over there. Oh my God. And then like all these fire trucks started coming into the campgrounds of Coachella, cop cars, everything like that. They ended up getting the fire out pretty quickly. Thank you, City of Indio Fire Department. Like, that was fucking insane. I didn't know what was going to happen or what was going to come after that. So, Fire Department are the real heroes. I mean, them coming in at like fucking 2:00 in the morning and coming through a crowd of people like in the campsites and campgrounds and getting to that fire and putting it out effectively without it spreading to any campsites or making the issue worse or spreading to other shower trailers is top-notch work. Like, good for you. Maybe they have private firefighters for these events. I'm not exactly sure. But yeah, so that happened. And then I had to walk like an hour and a half or 2 hours all the way around another area to get to my campsite. It took like forever for me to get to my camp. Like, forever. I had to like go the longest way around and like cut through all these. It was nuts. It was nuts. But I'll tell you what though, by noon the next day, Coachella had that fucking shower trailer out and replaced and a new one brand new up and running. And I had actually caught wind that they had done that and it was up and running by noon, and I had been waiting because the shower lines were so long because that was our shower trailer right there that fucking blew up. It was like over there and they had like the whole area shut down, and I saw somebody coming back from the showers. I'm like, oh my God, I was like, are the showers open? They're like, yeah, the ones that one that burned down, they just put a new one back in, like it's like wide open. Nobody's in there yet. And I was like, fuck yeah. I like grabbed my shower shit so fast. I fucking ran there, went right into the showers. Oh, it was beautiful. It was beautiful. You gotta love that. That's one of those little small blessings that you can wish and hope for at Coachella. Like when you want to take a shower and you're ready to take a shower, just grab your shit, go and get right in. Like that is chef's kiss. There's nothing like it. Nothing like it, guys. All right, guys. I've got some insane news here for you. Pete Davidson is going to be a father.
Tell me why.
I know. Okay. And I'm already like, this Elsie girl is so like public relations. Like she's got a source going directly to Us Weekly already exclusively saying Pete and Elsie definitely weren't planning on starting a family, but are over the moon about it. They are so excited. Pete and Elsie have a really playful relationship and things are going really well. The insider adds that while Davidson and Hewitt have been together for a short amount of time, they've become inseparable since they started dating earlier this year in March. This has brought them even closer. It's a healthy relationship for Pete. Pete has always wanted to be a dad and thinks the timing in his life is perfect. He couldn't have done it a few years ago, but is in a very different place in life now. What, 6 months, maybe a year sober?
Money can't buy your class.
Maybe put more expiration on that shelf life. Okay? Because like expire that shelf life a little bit more. I don't know how to word that, but like, what? According to the insider, Davidson has grown and matured a lot. He's had a great year so far with 2 movies coming out soon, another in production, and a return to stand-up. As Hewitt and Davidson gear up to welcome their bundle of joy, the couple have gone into full nesting mode. He and Elsie live together now and are starting to get things ready, which has been very exciting for them to do together. Okay. Also, Hewitt announced that she's pregnant with her and Davidson's first baby on Instagram, putting, "Welp, now everyone knows we had sex. Thanks, I hate it." Many of the twosomes' friends expressed their excitement over the news, including Davidson's good friend Machine Gun Kelly. And this is the only person they listed. They said many of the twosomes' friends expressed excitement. This was the only one. And this is the excitement. Machine Gun Kelly commented on the post and said, "These playdates bout to hit," with a bunch of T's.
Tell me why.
Why are children like fashion accessories to these celebrities? I don't understand. It's fucking weird. Like I said, Davidson and Hewitt sparked romance rumors back in March and confirmed their relationship on social media shortly after. 2 months later, the pair made their red carpet debut at the Endometriosis Foundation of America's annual fundraising gala. How romantic. Before dating Hewitt, Davidson candidly expressed his desire to settle down and become a father. "I'm definitely a family guy. My favorite thing ever, which I have yet to achieve. I want to have a kid. That's like my dream," Davidson told Kevin Hart during a July 2022 preview for season 2 of Peacock's Heart to Heart. "It's like super corny, but it would be so fun. Dress up the little dude. I'm so excited for that chapter. That's kind of what I'm just preparing for now, is just trying to be as good as a dude, develop and get better so that when it happens, it's just easier." He's been plotting this. Mark my words. He was trying to get her pregnant. Wait, this is a pleasant surprise. We had no idea. Surprise, surprise. No. He's been fucking manifesting a child since 2022, and he wasn't even sober or tattoo-less then. Like, my God. Like, this is like a dark time. I think he needs to reevaluate. I think she needs to reevaluate. I think they're both heading for dark times ahead. God bless. I hope the best, but do I? I don't know. Because I'll tell you right now, I don't like when celebrities just like have kids as like fashion accessories, like I said. Pete Davidson has not been sober long enough, in my opinion, to be having a child. We know he's gonna obviously trauma bond himself and like, get super attached to whoever he's with. Probably get engaged in the first 6 months, but like bringing a whole human being into the situation before you even know if you're really ready. Like, you may think you're ready, but are you though? Like, are we gonna see you again in like 2 years going back to rehab and crashing into people's houses? I mean, we might. So I think you need to give it a little bit more time. Like, that's what I'm saying. I think like you need to give the sobriety thing a little bit more time. I think you need to give the relationship a little bit more time. It's a little too late now, but that was my personal opinion about it. I mean, like, I just don't understand people with money that walk around like people from Florida. No disrespect, people from Florida, if you're sane, but they walk around like,
who is hunky dory?
I feel good in this moment, so let's make a life-changing decision for ourselves and someone else who has literally no say in the matter. I don't like it. I'm not a fan. So I wish them well, but I don't see it ending well. And that's that on that. All right. One of the stories you probably all been waiting for me to talk about, if you're watching this and you've made it this far. Coldplay has single-handedly managed to out a whole ass affair going on between a CEO and his HR manager, Megan Kerrigan. So there is this man, CEO Andy Byron, okay? He was the CEO of a tech company named Astronomer. I guess he decided he was going to travel from New York, because that's where he lived, and go to Boston with his HR manager because it's a casual little low-key night out on a Tuesday. Coldplay. My little mistress. Let's go see Coldplay, my little mistress. Let's run to Boston. Nobody will see us there. Nobody will find us at Coldplay. Wrongo. Chris Martin saw you at Coldplay. I guess Coldplay does this thing where they do like a kiss cam kind of style thing. And, there they are up in the top, wherever the fuck, I don't know, top row of the arena, stadium, wherever the hell Coldplay was playing. And CEO's got his arms around the HR manager standing there looking like she hasn't gotten her roots done in like about a year.
What are you waiting for?
I don't know. As soon as the camera cuts to them, instead of just like acting cool, which probably would have never led to them getting caught, they freak out. Dude man drops down. She turns around, hides her face. Girl next to her is laughing. Shit in my eyes. I don't know what's going on. The guy next to them is like having a good time. He's like trying to get on the camera now. And the guy that was holding the woman has now ran away. So after that, Chris Martin's like, that's kind of weird. And he goes, come on, you're okay. Uh-oh. Either they're having an affair or they're very shy. So Chris Martin caught these people in an affair at a Coldplay concert. And now pretty much everything is over for these people. The families know. The CEO has a wife and kids. The HR manager, Megan Kerrigan, has a husband. So I don't know if they're going to stay together. Probably not. Who knows? We'll see. Only time can tell. I mean, we might not ever find anything out, because if the story kind of dies and they don't really give us information, there's not really any way for us to know, But I think that's crazy. I think it's crazy. You went through such lengths to hide your affair from your partners that you traveled to another state in a major city to go to a concert because you thought you'd be safe there. And this is what I say all the time when I'm like divinely protected, because like I've been like the wife and the husband in this situation where, like, I have no idea of something going on and, like, truly do trust somebody and rely on the sole fact of what they're showing me and giving to me and what I feel between us when we're together, that I don't feel any insecurity. And then when you do something that betrays me, crosses me, wrongs me, whatever it is, the universe presents it to me always. Even if it's like months later. Even if it's months late, it always comes to me. Always comes to me. I will always find out. The information will always come to me. Look at how hard they tried to hide that, and it still couldn't be hidden. Chris Martin exposed them, and the internet found them. And now the CEO's wife is probably going to have a beautiful alimony payment if she goes through with divorce, which I highly encourage that she does. And yeah, I think she should take 50% and nothing less. And I don't feel bad. People are on the internet, they're like, oh, think about how this is going to affect their kids. This man was making $500,000 a year. I don't feel bad for him or his kids. Or his wife. Or no. Well, that just happened. Yeah, well, that just happened, but we're fixed. We're fixed. We're back. Yeah, that was bound to happen though, because like there were a couple screws that were kind of loose in the shelf, and I knew I needed to fix it or readjust it, and I think I put a little bit too much pressure on it. No, I didn't anchor them. I don't do that, so it is what it is. But we're back up. It's good. It's fine. Everything is cool. Everything's copacetic. OG Jersey Shore fans should get that reference. Anyway, I don't even remember where I left off with that. I think I was talking about the CEO's wife and kids being okay. The only people I really feel concerned for are probably like the HR manager. Like, she's probably not going to get another job after this. It's going to be really hard for her to anyway. I mean, she'll get another job, but it'll be really hard for her to get a job in her field. She's never going to get that again. Definitely not. It's definitely going to be a lot easier for this CEO to recover than her. So I empathize with that, but I don't empathize with the fact that they are lying, cheating assholes. That's what you get. I mean, like I said, I'm divinely protected. I'm going to always find out. I'll always fucking know.
Are you friends with her?
I'll always fucking know. And that's on that. And that's that on that. But he did have to resign. He was placed on administrative leave once they did an internal investigation. And once that concluded, he resigned. So they all accepted that as the board of directors. So I'm not surprised that that's what the result of that was, because how do you remain the CEO of a company when you're fucking the HR manager?
That's suspicious. That's weird.
That's why HR is bullshit. HR is there for the company. They are not there for you. They're there to fuck your CEO. That's what they're there for. Remember that. Remember that.
Next year will be our last season. The network will be ending The Late Show in May. And yeah, I share your feelings. It's not just the end of our show, but it's the end of The Late Show on CBS. I'm not being replaced. This is all just going away.
All right, it's time. We got to discuss Stephen Colbert. We got to discuss this. So, I mean, I've made it this far. Every segment that I've filmed has completely filmed. So I think that's what I'll just do from now on, just to make sure we don't have any more filming mishaps with the video. I will just clip it when I'm finished with one topic and move on to the next. And hopefully it will be okay. So I'm seeing the videos popping up. So fingers crossed. This might be the thing that gets me deleted. So let's see. So if you live under a rock, Stephen Colbert was not only, basically fired from The Late Show. The Late Show has been canceled as a whole. Just the whole show, all of it. The show that David Letterman created away from NBC to get away from them in the Ed Sullivan Theater in 1993 is going to be no more because CBS and Paramount said so. And it's because Trump wanted it. And that's what it all boils down to. And there's a lot of great points in this article that I'm going to read to you that will make a lot of sense. It's not just like an opinion piece. I know I did purposely make sure that any kind of time in this article I saw their opinion coming through. I didn't highlight it. I'm basically just sticking to fact here. So believe what you will, but this is what I believe. So the article starts off saying the host of CBS's Late Show with Stephen Colbert announced on July 17th that he only has 1 year left of monologues from New York's Ed Sullivan Theater, and it's not just him who's leaving. This is all just going away, the comedian 61 told his appalled audience, explaining that he's not being replaced, but the show will air its final episode in May of 2026. Next year will be our last season. The network will be ending The Late Show. News obviously sent, complete shockwaves through the entire late night TV community and just in the entertainment industry as a whole. And just, people that watch Stephen Colbert, fans, like anybody, they're just completely up in arms about this and don't understand why this would even happen when Stephen Colbert is single-handedly pulling the highest ratings for late night television hosts for any late night television host right now. So that doesn't make any sense. The financial excuse doesn't make any sense. So late night TV is obviously becoming more expensive and less profitable. But even though ratings are sinking for them and costs are going up, Stephen Colbert is still having the highest ratings of any late night show with 2.417 million people watching him all the way up until when the show ended for the season in June. So
Lean a little bit closer, see roses really smell like boo boo boo.
What? I don't get that. Does the season end in June? I think that's what it says. I don't know. I'm not exactly sure. We'll get to that part in the interview. I'm just fucking ad-libbing what I remember from the last episode. So anyway, whatever. They're basically talking about how YouTube clips are going more viral now. Gen Z and millennials, like they want the more like TikTok form videos and stuff like that. And it's because nobody has any fucking attention span anymore. Like nobody can focus on anything. Like, at least I can focus on multiple things at once. Like I'm focusing on making sure there's no stray hairs around me and I'm still bitching and moaning about shit and staying on topic. So what the fuck is their excuse? I don't understand. So obviously, a bunch of people are nervous about this, what it means. I mean, it's not just something that's going to affect Stephen Colbert, unfortunately. It's going to affect everybody. I think this is completely a domino effect to see what the reaction is going to be. I can wholeheartedly say that I have canceled my Paramount Plus membership, and the only way you're going to get me back on that app is when the fucking Emmys air, and I undoubtedly will have to get it back. Or when they run some kind of crazy promotion and they're like, come back for $50 for the year. Okay, I will. CBS's parent company is Paramount, so they released a statement about this. They said, this is purely a financial decision against a challenging backdrop in late night. It is not related in any way to the show's performance, content, or other matters happening at Paramount. We are proud that Stephen called CBS home. He and the broadcast will be remembered in the pantheon of greats that graced late night television. And if you're wondering what those other matters happening at Paramount are, it's the operative phrase in the statement that is a reference to the company's current efforts to finalize an $8.4 billion merger with Skydance Media, which requires regulatory approval from the federal government. Colbert is an outspoken critic of President Trump's administration, and hardly a night goes by when he doesn't poke fun at Trump, which is exactly what he did less than 24 hours before Paramount made this announcement of the cancellation of the Late Show, to which Trump reacted in the press with saying that he was happy to hear about it and that he heard Jimmy Kimmel was next. Interesting. This is a fascist regime. Just 3 days before he revealed the cancellation news, Colbert used his bully pulpit to sharply criticize Paramount for what he saw as capitulating to Trump after CBS News settled a defamation lawsuit with the president for $16 million. Colbert called it a big, fat bribe. So that definitely pissed them off as well. And said that it was an effort to smooth the way for the Skydance merger. He was quoted on the show saying, "As someone who has always been a proud employee of this network, I am offended. And I don't know if anything will ever repair my trust in this company. But just taking a stab at it, I'd say $16 million would help." Paramount also owns Comedy Central, which airs the equally anti-Trump Daily Show with Jon Stewart, other comedians, obviously. Also, The Late Show and Jimmy Kimmel Live. They just received Emmy nominations. The CEO of Paramount's hopeful new owner company, Skydance, is David Ellison, who happens to be the son of Larry Ellison, the billionaire chairman of Oracle, who has hosted a fundraiser for President Trump on his property and donated to Republican-friendly super PACs. So, there you have it, everybody. There you have it. Colbert will be gone in 10 months. And like I said, other dominoes could start to fall. CBS recently ended its 12:30 a.m. series comedy panel show After Midnight after just over a year when host Taylor Tomlinson decided to leave in favor of her stand-up career. NBC's Late Night with Seth Meyers recently axed its live in-studio band as a cost-cutting measure. Tonight Show went from 5 nights a week to 4 in 2024, joining the other late night shows. ABC's Jimmy Kimmel routinely threatens to leave the grind of late night behind. Conan O'Brien, who briefly inherited The Tonight Show, as we know, has gone on to podcasting. And then Samantha Bee's TBS talk show was also canceled. So it's not looking too good for late night. It does say that according to LateNighter.com, Nielsen ratings show that The Late Show is leading the pack in ratings so far in 2025. Like I said, the show wins the 11:35 p.m. hour with an average of 2.417 million viewers for the first 3 months. Ended in June. Okay, so so the first 3 months. So the show didn't end. The show wasn't in season until June. That's what it meant. Kimmel and Fallon were far behind in that metric, averaging 1.77 million and 1.19 million, respectively. So obviously people are starting to speculate what's next for Colbert. But I mean, I think podcasting would be a great place for him to go. I think that there would definitely be some kind of media company that would love to see Colbert have a podcast, or maybe he just does it on his own. Who knows? I think that would be a smart business decision, because then he can just say whatever the fuck he wants on his podcast. He doesn't have to listen to any kind of studio or media company or production company or anything like that, and he doesn't have to worry about this happening again. So if he's open to continue working in his field and being, a comedian that talks about the issues that keep people up at night, then I think podcasting would be a great avenue for him to go down. Personally, I think that there are a lot of podcasters out there that don't need to be podcasters. But I think Stephen Colbert would be great at it. I think a lot of people judge smaller podcasters because a lot of small podcasters are just not good at it. You have to have the presence. I mean, if it's not interesting to listen to or to watch, what are we doing here? It's not my ego that, I'm like, oh, I'm a good podcaster. No, I'm a good podcaster because I know I'm fun to listen to. Whether you like me or you don't like me, you're listening to me. What I'm saying is having an effect on you. Whether that's evoking a positive or negative response, it's evoking something in you, and it's making you feel something. Whatever that is. And I don't care what it is. If it's making you feel something and you feel like, inclined enough to go out of your way to give me a bunch of 1-star ratings on Apple Podcasts and leave a bunch of bad reviews or comments, because whatever my opinion was pissed you off badly enough, guess what? That changes nothing. That changes nothing. Like a rating doesn't make any difference on whether I'm seen or not, or my visibility gets across. You know what does? Downloads, subscriptions, views, all that shit, all the shit that you're helping me get by giving me those ratings, that's what counts. And you'd honestly do worse to me if you just ignored me and moved on. That would be worse. But people can't help themselves. So I don't know what Colbert is going to do from here on out. I wish him luck. And, he does have 10 more months to just give them the fucking business. So I highly recommend he do so. If you're going to have this platform for the next 10 months and, these people are just dragging you along to finish up a contract that you're in and you can't leave until the contract is up or whatever, I think you should just say whatever the fuck comes to mind. I think you should say whatever you want to say. What are they going to do? Fire you? Oh, well, bye. Unless like his severance or like something is like pretty good. Like if he gets a good like severance package from this, I don't know. Might be worth it. I don't know. We'll see. Only time can tell, but rip to the Late Show. This is fucked up. This isn't right. I'm just like thinking about David Letterman. Like, what does he think about all this? I want to hear from David Letterman. All right, guys. Last topic of the episode. It's a really sad story. It is something that just came out a few hours ago before I started recording. Unfortunately, Malcolm Jamal Warner, 54, that was previously on The Cosby Show as Theo Huxtable, among other roles over the years, has unfortunately passed away after an unfortunate drowning incident in Costa Rica on vacation with his family. I'm not exactly sure what caused the drowning. I just know when usually water or ocean or anything like that is involved, it could be a possible riptide. I know personally just from growing up on the beach, near the beach, everything like that, that's a huge concern, especially over the summer. It happens a lot. People get caught in riptides and they panic and they try to swim against the current and it tires them out and they unfortunately drown. If you are listening to this and you ever get caught in a riptide, do not try to swim against the current. Just tread water and let the current take you where it's going to take you. Eventually you will get out of the riptide. Just, pay attention to shore. Just keep an eye on it and, do whatever you can. Scream for help. Try to get people out there to you, whatever you can do. But, my personal opinion, don't go in the fucking ocean. That's just me. I don't go in the ocean. It freaks me out. I think that there are way too many creatures in there that I wouldn't want to come into contact with. Like, I respect them. I love them all. And that's why I leave them in there. And the ocean is really dangerous. It can be really scary, really quick. All of a sudden you're just having a nice day at the beach with your family and then something like this happens. It's really fucking sad. Like I said, he played Theo on The Cosby Show, and that's what I know him the most as, or know him most from. And, I used to watch The Cosby Show every night on Nick at Night. It's a great show, even though when we watch it back now, it probably doesn't have the same nostalgic feeling anymore because of fucking Bill Cosby ruining all that for us and whatever else. But, I loved Theo's character. I liked all the other actors on the show, and I really feel for his family. This is super tragic to go on vacation and to, lose your father or your husband in a drowning accident when you just wanted to go enjoy some time together is really heartbreaking. So I send my love to his family and his closest friends and his kids and his wife, of course, because they're gonna need it the most right now. And stay safe out there, guys. Like, for real. Well, that's a wrap on this episode of the Bumba.cast 39th episode of The Pop Cultured News. I hope you had as much fun as I did, keeping you as updated and as pop cultured as I physically can. You know I do it all for you and the love and support you keep on giving me. I'm so loved. You really love me.
You love me. You really love me.
I'm so grateful. Keep on spreading the good word and don't forget to turn those automatic downloads on and subscribe to my podcast wherever you're listening, along with my channel. And if you're not following me on social media, what's your damage? That's at Bumba.cast for Instagram, Threads, and TikTok, as well as YouTube videos for at the Bumba.cast pod. So, until next time, I'll see you soon, my little Bumbabees.